It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. Hello, it's Luke Michael Howard, clinical hypnotist, change worker, and rapid addiction recovery specialist here with your Facebook Live. And today's Facebook Live is entitled How Changing Your Language Can Help You Break Free from Your Addiction. So that's going to be the discourse. That is going to be the Facebook Live today coming up. So we're just waiting for some people to join us. If you're just joining us, wave, say hi. Say hi in the comments below. And if we could have a round of applause for my hair and how high my hair today. The only thing that's high here is my hair. So I'm feeling a cross between Elvis Presley and Eric Bischoff with this high hair today. I'm very proud of it. So yes, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about certain language. So one of the things that I've studied for many years has been neuro-linguistic programming. And the neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, stands for the language. Now, language we use externally to other people to describe our circumstances and what's going on in our side of our head, and the language we use to ourselves to communicate to ourselves, to have understanding. That's the language part of NLP or neurolinguistics. Some people now have marketed it to be conversational hypnosis, but it's the same thing. Words have power. Now, all words are made up. In fact, everything's made up. However, there is, behind those words, is meaning, the meaning that we have attached to it over time. Now, some of the words with a lot of the people that would suffer from addiction before they came to see me, some of the languaging that they would use are nominalized words. And basically what a nominalized word is a word that's frozen. It's a word, if you imagine that you could pull it into a wheelbarrow, so like a frozen word, if you will. So if a client came to me and said, Luke, I'm addicted to X, I would respond, well, how are you addicting yourself? Okay. If someone came to me and said, Luke, I've got anxiety, to which I'd say, well, how are you anxietying yourself? Luke, I've got depression. Well, how are you depressing yourself? Because what that does is it takes that word and it unfreezes it and starts to give the client some level of control, because they are interfacing with that experience in order to feel that level of emotion. So I've written a couple of words down that a lot of clients will come to see me from addiction. This could be addiction for anything. This could be addiction for the hard stuff like crystal meth, heroin, cocaine. It could be weed. It could be cigarettes. It could be sugar. It could be sex. It could be porn. It could be addicted to obsessive compulsive thoughts. It could be addicted to social media. So there's many different types of addiction. And as I like to say, not all addictions are created evenly or equally. If you just joined us, wave and say hi in the comments below. So some of the words are, first of all, it's how I help my clients get to some level of control. Now, I'm not saying either of these words. I'm going to give you the word that the client comes in, and then I'm going to give you the word that they change it to. I'm not saying either of these is technically right. Hey, Brenda, how are you? I'm not saying that either of these, or I'm going to give you 3 words today. Hi, Brenda. I'm not going to say that any of them are right, but there's one word that's stuck and gives the client absolutely no control. And there is another word that starts to give control back, authority back to the agency, back to the client, to allow them to have more control of their experience and break free from addiction. So one thing is the big one, right? It's addiction. Look, I'm addicted. I'm addicted to cocaine. I'm addicted to sex. I'm addicted to gambling. I'm addicted to porn, sugar, nicotine, whatever it may be. Okay? And what I get my clients to do is, when you really boil down an addiction, when you really boil it down, what is it? It's a habit that you feel, the addict feels, that they have no control over. It's an habitual habit that you feel it is doing you as opposed to you doing it. The heroin's doing me if I'm a heroin addict. The cocaine's doing me if I'm a cocaine addict. The gambling's doing me if I'm a gambling addict, right? So by changing it to a habit, it's like, well, you know, when I've got that habit when I'm biting my nails aren't biting me, I'm biting my nails. It's an habit, isn't it? You know, when I walk out the door and I need to turn around 3 times and touch the light switch 7 times before it feels safe enough for me to exit, well, that's an habit. I know it's a strange habit. It's not my habit, by the way. It used to when I had OCD a long time ago. But it's a habit. It's a habit. It's something you do. You feel you have some level of control over. So I get my clients to start changing addiction to habit. Yeah, it may be a very terrible habit. It may be a habit that may cost you your marriage, may cost you your children, your job, your house, your car, even your life. I appreciate that. I appreciate it can be a vicious habit. But that's what it is. It's a habit. But it's a habit that you, on some level, don't feel that you have control over. So when you start saying that I'm addicted, and you just change it to, I'm just doing a really terrible habit right now. It's a bad habit. Could lose my car, could lose my house, could lose my marriage, could lose my kids, could lose my job, could lose my life. But it's a habit. And the presupposition of our habit is no matter how shitty it may be, you do have some level of control. And all words are is, we all made up the meaning behind words. They're very hypnotic. Words don't really mean what they mean. It's just because over time, we've started to believe what they've meant and we've universally accepted this illusion and accepted them for what they were. But someone made up all these words, but some give us less power. I'm an addict, addiction versus habit. Doing a habit right now, destructive habit, but it's habit. So that's the first change. The second one I get my clients to choose is, well, I'm doing this drug, I'm doing coke, I'm doing speed, I'm doing ecstasy, I'm doing heroin, I'm drinking alcohol. Okay, I get them to change the word drug, all right, to poison. Get them to change drug from poison. Because what happens is, I'm going to take this drug. Yeah, in society it can sound very bad, but there's some things we hear, drug, it's going to make me high. It's going to depress some of the feelings I don't want to feel, and it's going to make me experience more other things like magic mushroom, like cocaine. It's going to put my senses on fire. But so we glamorize it, sometimes drug, glamorize it. So by changing the word drug to poison, well, what poison are you smoking today? Cigarettes. What poison are you drinking today? Drinking a beer. What poison are you injecting into your arm? Heroin. What poison are you doing on the internet? Well, I'm placing some bets with money I don't have. But by changing that drug, the word drug, all right, and changing it to poison, when you hear that over and over again, you're confronted by this thing, even though you know on some level the drug is probably bad for you. When you start changing it for the word poison, 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 you hear it over time. It starts to give you a bit of distance, gives you a bit of space. And when you've got space between you and your addiction or you and your habit, you can start to see it for more of what it actually is. The Hypno Pixie is here. Hello, Hypno Pixie. The wonderful, beautiful, glamorous, amazing Hypno Pixie. But when you start to change it and you start to call the drug a poison, it starts to give you distance from it. So you can start to see it almost disassociate. You can see it over there being like, do I really want to do this right now? Do I really want to put this substance into my body? Do I really want to have this experience right now? Because it's cost me so much and it can continue to cost me more. Maybe my house, maybe my job, maybe my kids, maybe my family, maybe my life. So it starts to give you some distance. And when you have distance from your addiction, remember we've changed that to habit. Once you start to have some distance from it, you start to have more agency about it. You start to have more sovereignty about it. You start to have more control of what you're doing. The habit. Remember the habit, the first one, the habit. Okay? So we're changing drug to poison. So you have distance and you see the wolf for what it is. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. It looks like a sheep, looks very nice. But when it's revealed, it's a wolf. And you can see it for what it is. And you can't ever unsee it again. The last word I get them to change is recovery. Well, I'm in recovery right now. Yeah, I'm in recovery. It sounds good, doesn't it? I haven't used my drug. I'm in recovery. It sounds good. Except recovery is ongoing. It means you may not use your drug again for another year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. The remainder of your life, you may not use your drug, but there is a belief that this battle is ongoing because you are in recovery. Change recovery to recovered. Yeah, I used to have this issue. I used to gamble too much, watch too much porn, have too much sex with people I had no feelings for, ate too much sugar, smoked too much cigarettes, did too much coke, drank too much alcohol, did too much cocaine, heroin, whatever. I used to do that, but I'm not in recovery, it's done. I'm recovered. That used to be me. I used to be 12. Probably did at some point as well. If you're 12 and you're watching this, then you probably really need to see me if you've got those issues. I used to like Kiss. All right? I used to watch the cartoon He-Man. This is all true. I'm not discounting this. Recovery. But I'm recovered. I'm recovered from He-Man. Recovered from Kiss. I'm recovered from a 12-year-old. Recovery is ongoing. It never finishes. You've always got that monkey, as George Michael said, on your back. It never ends. The battle's always there. The demons are always inside. Recovery. Ongoing. Recovered. Yeah, I used to do that particular behaviour. I used to have that particular habit. It was very destructive. And I had some high times, pun intended, when I was doing it. I don't do it anymore. I am recovered. So changing recovery into recovered. It puts you into that spot that you're done. It's something you used to do. Used to be 12. Used to like Kiss. Used to like He-Man. Used to do drugs. Used to drink alcohol. Used to watch too much porn. Not discounting it. That's true. Not really. Only the first three were true from me. That's true. However, I'm now done with it. I haven't been 12 in 30 years. That's a true one. I haven't watched He-Man in, I don't know, 30, 35 years. I haven't listened to Kiss in, I don't know how long. All right? I'm recovered. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm certainly not going to be 12 again. I don't think I'll listen to Kiss, and He-Man, I kind of grew out of it, but I did love it as a kid. So changing recovery to recovered. Recovered is done. Recovered is done. You want this to be done. You want your sobriety to be now. You want to draw that line underneath it now and be done. Punctuate it now. It's done. Make the decision now. It's done. As I said in one of my other videos, the definition of decision in, I believe it's Latin or Greek origin, to make a decision meant to cut yourself off from any other possible option. You've cut yourself off from it. It's done. You don't want to be having this battle all your life. You've been having the battle long enough. It's time to be done with it. It's time to change that addiction to habit. It's time to change that drug to poison. It's time to change recovery to recovered. And just making those little shifts in your consciousness, consciously to begin with, until it becomes unconscious. It's going to empower you so much as you step forward, gain sovereignty in your life, leave the rest behind you, and really, really go for what you want and break those shackles of your addiction. Remember, we changed it to habit. Well, if you've enjoyed this video, or more apropos, if you've gained anything from this video, then please do give it a thumbs up. Say hi below. If you've got any questions, please put your questions below. And please do pass it on to people that you may know that may be suffering now. They may be suffering in silence, but you might know that they're suffering on some level. If there's any Facebook groups or any groups that you're on that you think would benefit from any of these videos that I put on these Facebook Lives, then do please pass it on to those. Or if you're watching on YouTube, the same. Or if you're listening to a podcast form, audio, or any other kind, please do pass the message. We're changing the universe here, one soul at a time. I'll see you soon. I'm going to rewind, like the Terminator. I'll see you. Same Luke time, same Luke place, same Luke channel. Always believe.